Hi there. Let us see today how we can paint the elephant-headed Hindu god Ganesha or the Ganapati in watercolors. Start by drawing your own Ganesha or Ganapati on a tracing paper called the gateway tracing paper, or if you are not able to make one, simply trace this Ganesha onto a tracing paper after taking out a screenshot from this video. Having made this Ganesha, invert this or turn it over and simply retrace those lines once again from the reverse side and complete the Ganesha in every way. So, having traced this Ganesha completely on the reverse side of the tracing paper, I now turn the paper once again in the readable side. That is the positive side, if you want to call it. And make use of a tape to stick this onto the paper so that it appears upright and not tilted. So I paste this with the help of a sellotape or a masking tape so that it remains firm. And then I make use of a coin. Holding it in a slightly inclined way and scrubbing the coin all over on the diagram. Do it gently so that you don't ruin the texture of the paper. But as is expected, the lines which have been traced once again on the reverse side of the tracing paper will get imprinted upon the paper to give you at least some broken lines which can be finalized to make a final sketch of the Ganesha before we start painting. Remember that the tracing paper should not move. If it does, the best way would be to restart the whole process on another fresh paper. So having scrubbed the coin all over, I expect the lines to be transferred onto the watercolor paper. And then when I remove the tracing paper, I get my ready-made outline which is ready to paint. If you wish to, you can take a screenshot of this particular area and get your final outline. I reinforce these lines by going over once again so that I don't lose these lines when my watercolor painting process starts. So in this way I have completed finishing the outline work of the Ganesha, and if you wish you can take a snapshot of this particular area if you want to try the same Ganesha. Now let us see how we can begin painting in watercolors this Ganesha using our knowledge of all the basic washes and fundamental strokes of the brush which we have seen in my earlier videos. So we begin painting the crown by just touching some golden yellow here and there, all over on the crown area, a bit haphazardly. And we may touch some orange erratically here and there to let it blend wet in wet with the earlier added yellow color. Wash the brush and just add a little water so as to allow the colors to bleed and blend into one another. Of course, do not do excess because the white flecks which are left out as paper add to the feel of the shining crown. Then continue with the same orange and paint the orange underneath the flap of the the ears. Wash the brush and add water all along, allowing the color to bleed into the water. If you refer to my earlier videos, you will realize that this is a graded wash. So graded wash of orange leads to the formation of the ears. You may touch a little bit of orange on the upper side of the ears so as to create a weak tone. And in the same way, add the orange on the forehead and continue adding water to it so as to produce a graded wash of orange. Add the orange at the bottom portion of the trunk and do a sort of a graded or a reverse graded wash. It would be a good idea to allow the earlier efforts to dry, turn the paper upside down and do your reverse graded wash by doing a normal graded wash. But if you can manage, there is no need of turning the paper upside down, and we can create the face and the ears in this manner. Of course, care should be taken to see that you don't get into the teeth area. We continue putting in the orange on the under portion or the underside of the pot belly, as his belly is rounded. And add a lot of water at the top, gradually coming down and allowing the orange to rise into that water area. This being called a reverse graded wash. The same way for the chest area. Spreading the tone upwards. And allowing a bulging belly or a protruding tummy to become prominent. I use touches of color on the hands, much in the same way, adding a little water on the upper side and letting the orange become weaker towards the upper portion. Finally, for the feet, the same way, adding a touch of orange and then water to make the feet. So it's all about adding touches of color and then mixing it with water, sort of graded washes and softening processes as seen in the earlier videos. So I've virtually completed the torso, the head and the hands and feet. Allow this to completely dry. Now once dry, add a flat wash of green all over here to complete the top portion of the clothing. Be careful not to invade the teeth. So in this way, I complete the top portion of his apparel. Once the green area is dry, add a few strokes to indicate some folds of the apparel. Complete the jewelry by choosing the same yellow which we started off for the crown. Add touches of yellow all over on the necklace. Introduce touches of some orange here and there to match the jewelry at the top. That is the crown. Then take up the orange and add it for his lower apparel, which is called as the dhoti or the pitambar. Continue adding it up and quickly take up some yellow and do a variegated wash of yellow and orange. Continuing upwards after filling the lower area, employing some water and pulling the yellow color up. Making a kind of a softening, which results into a velvety kind of the feel of the cloth. So this is the pitambar. Repeat on the other side too. So in this way, the apparel is complete. Now, with his right hand, the god offers us blessings, and with his left hand, he accepts our offerings. That offering is called the modaka, and I paint the modaka sitting in his palm by using a little bit of burnt sienna, adding touches of color carefully in between the fingers, and then softening with the help of plain water. So that makes for a beautiful modaka, which is the sweet offering to this god. Now, using the same burnt sienna, I can start painting the shadows of the various parts. Say, for example, a little in the crown, a little on the crown, some kind of shadows and some kind of details in the design by just moving the brush loaded with burnt sienna in a little random way. Then the shadow cast by the crown onto the forehead. Then the shadow cast by the fold of the ear onto the main body of the ear in this way. Same way the other side. Then some of the other areas which are in pure shadow, for example, underneath the teeth, then here in the corners, then a shadow cast by the apparel, then the deep areas in between the fingers, then the shadow cast by the trunk onto the main body, then the shadow cast by the necklace onto the main body, then the deeper areas besides the pot belly, and the nabhi or the navel. Then I make use of a little thicker color and paint the eyebrows, and little commas make for the eyes. Then the folds of the pitambar or the dhoti, will make all these areas complete. Then a religious forehead mark known as the tilak to be added as a U shape, and a little markings, horizontal in nature or as dashes, to be added all over his trunk in the middle area. And few touches to decorate his apparel. Line work or line drawing, as we have seen earlier. So as you can see, all different types of washes, basic washes, which we have learned earlier, are applied here and there to make this beautiful but simple Ganesha. The variegated washes, the flat washes, the glazing, the line drawing, reverse graded washes, and so on and so forth. And finally, with the help of a very dilute mauve, we can apply the colors for the background. This has to be done a little carefully so that we don't invade the painting done so far. After completing this wash for the entire background, I add a little bit of Payne's grey on the lowermost side of the deity, so as to create a feel of the shadow cast by the Ganesha on the right side. Interestingly, this god has a vehicle, and the vehicle is none other than a mouse. So let us see how we can make the mouse seated next to him. We make the letter 6, fill it up with Payne's grey, add a little bit of an extension, continue and complete it a little broad at the top, add a little triangular head, make a Mickey Mouse shape ear with his hands folded, and drag out a long tail. This makes for a cute little mouse, which is his vehicle. So that completes the Ganesha in a simple way, considering all the basic or fundamental washes of watercolors. So if you have liked this video, please press the like button and share it with your friends in groups, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much for watching this video.